I've made some updates to my Stemless Wineglass glitter file, so I wanted to walk you through it. We have 3 glitter heights now. Before we just had a straight across version and an angled version, but now I've added a full all the way to the top version too. So if you like to dip your stemless wine glasses in glitter that completely coats them, then this is the new and improved file for you. Alrighty, so it's the same kind of layers in my layers palette as most of my other projects. We have our white background layer. If you turn that off, it looks like the glass is white, but it actually is transparent. It just takes up the color of whatever's behind it, or you can see through it to whatever's behind it. So I put in this blue layer. I called it background blue to see details, just to illustrate that. If you turn that on, you can see that you can see right through the glass, the shininess and everything already on it. But I'm going to leave it on white. Okay, so then we have our 3 different glitter heights, which is glitter straight across, glitter angled, it's the next layer up, and glitter straight full. And then above that we have some smart objects. We have the smart object where it's on the back. It's different from anything else if you just want to show the back side of the design, but you don't want the back to say the same thing as the front. And then you have a normal front where it says bride, and if you wanted to duplicate that on the back, like if you had a whole word going across, or you wanted some sort of reflection, then you could click on that layer as well. But typically I think most people just use this. So let me walk you through the glitter layers. I will leave that on for now. Okay, so leaving on the word bride, which you could apply with vinyl or whatever. We have our glitter straight across halfway folder. I'm going to open that up. Inside we have a color layer. You can see the original color is gold. When you turn this color layer on, that allows you to double click on the little square with gradients icon here, and it pulls up this properties palette where you have the hue, saturation, and lightness. And in your download folder, I have a little sort of recipe card for a common rainbow of colors with the actual numbers that you would put in for hue, saturation, and lightness to achieve that color. But you can also achieve pretty much, I think, any color that you need just by playing with these sliders on your own. So you have the hue slider. You can drag it to change the color, or you can actually type in here. So that's where that recipe card comes into place, because if I told you to change the hue to 50, you would go in here and put 50, or you could even put -50. And it just scoots it further left. Then we have saturation, which just makes it really bright or very dim, almost all the way down to, if it's completely desaturated, that means it's black and white. And then lightness, which makes it just sort of brighter and deeper. So this one's great for reds, like for Christmas. If you don't want a really bright orangey red, you can pull down the lightness and make it much bolder. So that's how those settings work inside the properties panel. And that's on the color layer right here. Then you have your regular layer, which is where the glitter dip is. There is also a gradient effect on it. If you turn off the little eye next to the word effects, it turns that gradient off. It makes it a little bit flatter. If you turn it on, it makes it just look a little bit shaded at the bottom like it might in real life. Hide that layer and go up to the next one. Here's your angled glitter layer. So you have the glitter itself. It's right there. This little bit is the highlight that makes the top of the glitter look like it's inside the glass. So if I turn that off, see, it looks very flat. Turn it back on, it looks 3-dimensional. And then again, you have your color layer in between where you can tweak colors to your heart's content. And finally, the glitter straight full to the top. I'm just going to hide the smart object because it looks better without. And then on this one, we have an additional layer called optional shading, which you can turn off if you want it to just look a little more clean or flat. Turn it back on if you want it to look like it has a little bit more dimension on it. And then the color layer and the glitter itself. And as always, you can just turn the glitter off and have your smart object right in there if you don't use glitter. And if you double click on the Smart Object layer, oh, I moved to a new computer, so I'm having some font issues, and that's why this is coming up. It shouldn't show up for you. When I give you this file, the type will be rasterized in my little explanation document. But if I were to scoot this like a little bit more into the center, and see this little asterisk up here in the tab on the right, means that I haven't saved yet. So nothing has changed on the original file. It's still sitting kind of up at the top of the glass. If I go back to my PSB tab and I hit File, Save, the asterisk went away. That means my changes are saved. I go back and you can see Bride scooted down. It actually scooted down a little bit too far, so I would go back in here and just scoot it up a little more. I'm going to hit Save with my keyboard command and just keep going back and forth until I am happy with where it sits. Like, that looks pretty decent. Another thing that I wanted to note before wrapping up is that I am also including PNG and Jpeg versions of the glass in the base color of gold. So if you wanted to purchase this file but just use it in Silhouette Studio or some other design program to make your mock-up, you can. You would just be laying it directly on top of here, so it's not going to quite look angled and curved to the glass, but it could work in a pinch, and it's great for you if you don't have Photoshop yet. So the PNG versions, because of the way this file is created, the glass is white behind, but the outside area is transparent. So I don't know if that's useful to you, but I wanted to provide it regardless because I give you JPEGs and PNGs with all of my files. The JPEG version is probably the one that you're going to use because you're going to have it just on a white background. Then we have the fully covered glitter one. So this one actually, since it's transparent around the outside, it looks gray here, but you could put any other color or background behind this if you're able to in your design program. And then there is the JPEG version as well, where it's just flattened onto white. Same deal with this one. Again, this is transparent just around the outside and where the reflection is, but not in the interior of the glass because of the way my files are constructed. But the JPEG is just white all throughout behind. So back to the file for my wrap-up. So there you go. That's the basic run-through of the new file with our awesome new fully glittered to the top layer and just some cleanup and a few tips and tricks. I hope you enjoy the file. If you haven't purchased it yet, it's available in my Etsy shop and my Creative Market shop, which you can find in the description or probably an end card on this video. Thanks a lot. Again, this is Sarah from sarahdesign.com, and I hope to connect with you later.